We'd arrived in the Austrian Tyrol to experience travelling on a few of the special little trains that run up the mountains and along the valleys in Austria. They're referred to as little trains because of the size of the track, not the engine or rolling stock. After a visit to the souvenir shop, our first train was part of the Ziller Valley line, running from Gembach on the main line to the tourist resort of Maurerhofen, a journey of 20 miles. It has an unusually small track gauge of only 2 feet 5 and 15/16 inches. There is a regular diesel haul service, but for railway enthusiasts, the company runs steam trains with vintage carriages. Many tourist groups are ready to board the train as it comes into the station. Our driver waves us goodbye, and our coach leaves us. Overtakes us, has to stop at the level crossing for us, but it still gets to Maurerhofen first. This railway line was opened in 1902. After lunch and a visit into the town of Maurerhofen for a little shopping experience, we return via the medieval one-street town of Rattenberg, which nestles in the shadow below Rat Mountain, on the banks of the River Inn. The town has specialised in working in glass blowing and decorative glass work.
There we are then, guys. We'll see you at dinner this evening. I hope you all enjoy your day out.
Our next visit was to St Gilgen, when after a walk around the town, we returned to the pier and embarked on a boat to cross over Lake Wolfgangsee. Passing the paddle steamer Franz Joseph I, which was first launched in 1873, before arriving at the town of St Wolfgang. St Wolfgang is at the base of the famous Zillerbahn, which is the steepest cogwheel railway in Austria, rising on average at a gradient of 26%. Opened in 1893, steam locomotives have powered their way from the lakeside base station up nearly 6,000 feet to the summit of the Schafberg. From the top, there are super views of the surrounding mountain tops. We refused the invitation to walk up the zigzag path to the hotel to ensure we didn't miss our designated return train. After our descent, we had time to explore the town of St Wolfgang. 2 days of train exploration gave way to a non-train day when we explored the main town of the region, Innsbruck. It is a well-known pedestrian-free medieval old town where the 15th century golden roof is the main attraction. The balcony was built to allow the emperor to view the jousting in the square below. The next day was damp when we visited the famous resort of Kitzbühel, before driving to the lakeside town of Zillerbahn for lunch. We returned up the valley on the Zillerbahn. The railway was opened in 1875 by the Imperial and Royal Train Company and bears the name of the eldest daughter of Emperor Franz Joseph. Again, it was a steam-hauled train for enthusiasts. Our next visit was to Jembach station, famous for serving 3 different gauge railways, the main line being at standard gauge, just over 4.5 feet. There is also the already mentioned unusually narrow Zillerbahn railway line at 2.5 feet.
Bye bye, nice journey, lovely weather, God save the Queen.
But the speed of the main line was forgotten as we reverted to historic steam power. This time it's the oldest cogwheel railway in Austria, opened in 1889 with a track gauge of just 1 metre. It rises 1,500 feet up the mountain. There is an interesting changeover at the passing place at the top of the hill, when the engine that has been pushing the train up the mountain moves to the other end and completes the journey pulling the train. After a journey of 45 minutes, we arrive at the terminus, when the engine changes round for the return journey. And also takes on water. From here, there are views over Lake Acheensee, one of the largest and most beautiful of the Tyrolean lakes. From the holiday resort of Seespitz, it's possible to engage in many water-based activities, or just take a cruise on Lake Acheensee, which is over 5 miles long. Guess which we did.